What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back to talk about basketball because that's what I do over here. So thank you very much for tuning in and spending some time with me today while I talk your ear off about hoops. But today I want to pose a question. So please comment down below your input on this question because I want to know what you guys think. But the question I want to ask is, which of these two teams is more likely to advance to the NBA Finals? The Oklahoma City Thunder or the Cleveland Cavaliers? So obviously, both were at the top of their respective conferences. The Cavaliers finished 64-18 in the Eastern Conference. That is good for the number one spot in the East. And Oklahoma City finished 68-14, a league best record, which was good for number one in the Western Conference. So if both of them wound up meeting in the finals, OKC would have home court advantage because they have 4 more wins than Cleveland. But I want to bring this up because obviously I've been watching all of the playoffs, right? But I feel like Cleveland, honestly, has a little bit more of a structured team, which is odd to say because OKC is just so deep. They're so talented, but I think people aren't giving enough credit to Cleveland, mainly because they play in the East. I think people just assume the team in the Western Conference, and having a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is probably going to be top 2 in MVP voting, especially if he's not the MVP, he will most likely be number 2 to Nikola Jokic if he is not awarded the award. But let me just read through the player stats, right? So both teams, right, have not lost in the playoffs so far. OKC just completed the sweep on Memphis. They in that process in Game 1, they won by 51 points, just absolute obliteration of that team. And the Cavaliers have not yet lost either. They just blew out Miami by 37 points. So both of these teams are cakewalking to the second round. Like it's there's no opposition really here, it seems like, for either team. And it's not that these teams are bad. I think the Grizzlies are a decent team. Obviously, they didn't have John Morant in Game 4, so that I think helped the Thunder out. But the Thunder were down, by like 29 points in Game 3, and they stormed back and won. So I don't know whether to consider that a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, it means that they can just turn it on and they can win whenever they need to. But at the same time, it's like you're almost getting a little bit lackadaisical and you're not really keeping the game close, right? So you're putting yourself in bad situations, which can come back to bite you later on in the playoffs. I don't think the Cavaliers have done that really yet. And it's more spread out, like I said. So Donovan Mitchell, 24.3 points per game in the 3 games he's played so far. Darius Garland sat out Game 3, but in the 2 games he's played thus far, 24 points a game. Evan Mobley, 16 points per game. Ty Jerome, 15.7. Jarrett Allen, 14.3. Max Strus, 13.7. And DeAndre Hunter, 11 points per game. So that's 7 different guys averaging double digits for the Cavs, right? That's pretty impressive. That's a very well spread out effort. And you have, guys doing it on the defensive end too. You have Jarrett Allen getting 9.7 rebounds a night, Evan Mobley getting 6.3 rebounds a night. They're both defending the paint very well. No one on this team is averaging more than 1.7 turnovers a game so far. So it's like this is going to be pretty interesting to see how this turns out. And all of them are shooting very good percentages from 3. Donovan Mitchell, 44.4%. Darius Garland, 41.2%. Evan Mobley, 46.2%. Ty Jerome, 46.7%. DeAndre Hunter, 55.6%. Like, this team doesn't seem to have any weaknesses right now. And I think Donovan Mitchell is a very underrated leader for what he's been for this team. Like the dude knows how to pull everything together. He understands his teammates. He knows how to get his teammates to listen, and he knows how to get them to play the right way. So I think Donovan Mitchell should be higher up in MVP consideration. Just my personal opinion. But then you go over to OKC, and the scoring is a lot more concentrated. You have Shea averaging 27.8. You have Jalen Williams, J-Dub, my guy, averaging 23.3. And then Chet Holmgren averaging 18.5. Everyone else is in, single figures. So you got 3 guys in double digits on OKC. You got 7 on Cleveland, right? So it's not that much to worry about, but it's like, to me, that kind of points out that it's very top heavy for OKC. It seems like they have a ton of guys that can defend, can do the little things on the court to help you win. So I don't think it's really like something to read into that much, but it is something. And frankly, I think the Cavs probably have an easier path to the finals, right? Like, if I had to, really call it out, I mean, it's more likely than not that they're going to play the Celtics in the conference finals. At this point, I would take the Cavs over the Celtics. That's just my personal opinion. I think Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can do a good job shutting down Porzingis. I think the tough part is going to be who's guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Right, because Donovan Mitchell gives up a pretty decent, size disadvantage to both of those guys. Darius Garland, same thing. Ty Jerome, same thing. So who is guarding those guys? Is it Isaac Okoro? Is it, Max Strus? Like, who is guarding these guys? DeAndre Hunter? Who's guarding them? So if they have, someone who can play really good defense on those two guys, I think they're going to be decent. But at the same time, when those two guys are getting face guard, Derek White steps up. Peyton Pritchard steps up. So it's going to be tough for the Cavs either way. I do think they just have a really good team, though, and I think they're super motivated to do what they have to do to get to the finals, right? They lost to the Celtics previously. I think they want to figure out how to get past the Celtics, and I think they have a strong chance to do it. I think with the Thunder, it's going to be harder on a series by series basis. I think Cavs playing the Pacers or the Bucks next series in the second round they're still going to win that series. I think OKC has more of a chance to get knocked off by the Nuggets or the Clippers, just with how good they're playing. And I think specifically if they play the Nuggets, who's going to shut down Nikola Jokic, right? Like, and frankly, if they play the Clippers too, who's shutting down Kawhi Leonard, right? Both those guys are playing out of their minds right now, so it's going to be a struggle. And then in the conference finals, they're playing, call it the Lakers or the Timberwolves or the Rockets or the Warriors, one of those teams. And, I personally think playing the Lakers, they could probably beat the Lakers. I think playing the Timberwolves, they could beat the Timberwolves. I think the Rockets or the Warriors would be tough for OKC. I think anytime you play Steph Curry, you don't know what's going to happen. Right, like that dude could go for 50 on any given night. It doesn't matter, and you could be face guarding him. He could still get 50. Like, dude could literally be blind and he'll still get 50. It does not matter. Steph Curry is that good. He's taken so many shots in his life that he could quite literally, like, I feel like, put the ball in the hoop via telekinesis at this point. It doesn't matter. So if the Thunder play the Warriors, I think honestly the Warriors pose the biggest threat, right? Because you're gonna have Jimmy and Draymond, guarding Shea, getting into Chet Holmgren. Like, there's going to be a lot of difficulties. So, if I had to pick who was more likely to advance to the finals out of the Thunder and the Cavs, frankly, I think at this point, I'm going to have to say the Cavs. Especially with Jason Tatum going down early, in the series with the Magic and not being able to play. And then playing and then losing that game, in game 3. I just think, I don't know. And I think Porzingis is a question mark. You never know if he's going to be healthy or not. So I think I have to pick the Cavs. I think they have the strongest chance to advance to the finals right now over the Thunder. And I don't think it's that much of an edge that they have over the Thunder. I think both teams are likely to get to the finals. It's just, it never really turns out that way. It's rare that you have both number one seeds advance to the finals. It's very tough for that to happen in the NBA, especially as teams move throughout the regular season. Having that good of a record in the regular season, always being on like that, and then getting to the playoffs, the fatigue is going to hit at some point, and they're going to get stuck. They're going to lose a couple of games here and there, and that's just how it's going to work probably. Like, it's very hard to do like what the Celtics did last season, where I think they only lost 2 games in the playoffs. It's very difficult to do that. So I think it would be awesome to see a Cavs versus OKC matchup in the finals. I think those are the two best teams in the league, honestly, not just by record, but by depth and by consistency, how they play each and every night. It's incredible. So I want to know what you guys think, though. Please leave some comments down below. Who do you think is more likely to advance to the finals? Do you think it's the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Oklahoma City Thunder? I want to know your thoughts. Why do you think that? And let's talk. I want to have a discussion. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Throw me a like. I would greatly appreciate you doing that. And I'm going to check you later, man. Stay safe, stay up, stay blessed, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.